Fairview Planning Commission meeting on April 9th at 7 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Ms. Schilling. Here. Ms. Williams.
Here.
Mayor Anderson. Mr. Magner.
Here.
Ms. Schulist.
Here.
Mr. McDonald.
Here.
Mr. Callie.
Here.
Mr. Pape.
Here.
Ms. Sinyard.
Present. We all stand as we have the opening prayer and pledge.
My Heavenly Father, I thank you tonight for the rain that you've brought to us, the spring weather, and the flowers. We ask you bring us wisdom and guidance tonight. May we make good decisions that honor you. We thank you for this community. Amen.
Moving to the approval of the agenda, do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Callie, McDonald, can I get a vote?
Mr. Callie.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Schilling. Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Magner.
Aye.
Ms. Schulist.
Aye.
Mr. Pape.
Aye.
Ms. Sinyard.
Aye. Do we have any citizens' comments tonight?
None tonight.
Thank you. I'll take a motion for approval of the minutes of the March 19th regular meeting.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
I'll go with Callie Williams on this one.
Here you go.
Can I have a vote taken?
Mr. Callie.
Aye.
Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Ms. Sinyard.
Aye.
Ms. Schilling. Mr. Magner.
Aye.
Ms. Schulist.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Mr. Pape.
Aye.
Moving to approval of the minutes in the March 19th work session. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
McDonald, Kelly, I believe.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, can I have a vote?
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Mr. Callie.
Aye.
Ms. Schilling. Ms. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Magner.
Aye.
Ms. Schulist.
Aye.
Mr. Pape.
Aye.
Ms. Sinyard.
Aye. We have no old business. New business item 1, PC Resolution PC 12-24, Development Plan, Windward Park Phase 4, 6.05 acres, map 043D, Group F, parcel 11.00, current zoning R20 pod, property owner Boulevard Building Group. Do I have a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve. Second.
McDonald, Callie. Staff, would you like to read anything into the minutes?
This resolution is for Wynwood Park. They're currently working in Phase 3. This is for Phase 4 of their pod. One of the conditions of approval was for all staff comments to be addressed prior to the pre-construction meeting. And the second, more important condition of approval, Keith, if you'll go to the next slide. This was their original pod that was approved. And you can see kind of in the middle of the screen right here, it creates a single access point to 42 homes. Past that, per the fire code, there can only be 30 homes, or there are exceptions. And so the condition of approval has the 2018 International Fire Code requires all homes built in Phase 3 and Phase 4 to be sprinkled or provided a second point of ingress/egress to Phase 4 of Wynwood Park. Agreement between developers for second point of ingress/egress shall be presented to city staff prior to construction plan approval. Keith, if you'll go to the next slide, please. This is their Phase 4 development plan. At the very top, they have an open space area that connects to the backside of Belvoir, where they could connect and create a second point of ingress egress. And that would be the developer that they would be speaking with. And they've identified that on this plan as a opportunity for their connection point.
Is there a representative that wants to join us? If you'll go ahead and introduce yourself, and then if there's anything you say, but we can also ask questions, but that way we get the introduction out of the way.
Sure. My name is Adam Crunk with Crunk Engineering. Appreciate being here this evening. So we've read the staff report. We agree with all the conditions, feel that we can easily comply prior to construction plan approval. I did want to note, though, that so in the resolution and the way that comment number 1 is worded, it's worded slightly differently than how we understood that the subdivision could proceed forward with construction plan approval, and I'd like to explain if I may. So about 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation with Sean Sullivan, the fire marshal, about ways in which we could build Phase 4 as had been previously approved in the preliminary master development plan. And what he expressed to me was that we would only have to sprinkle the homes that numbered more than 30 from the limited point of egress from Phase 2. So whereas the comment here is that all homes built in Phase 3 and 4 would need to be sprinkled, I actually understood it that it would be 12 homes, because there are 42 total in Phases 3 and 4. The first 30 would not need to be sprinkled. The last 12 would need to be sprinkled. And then, and then in the first sentence, it does say that we either sprinkle the homes or there's a second point of egress. However, in the last sentence of this resolution, number 1, it says, agreement between developers for second point of ingress egress shall be presented to the city staff prior to construction plan approval. The fact of the matter is, so we're leaving the open space should another development come in adjacent to us that we can make that connection. But right now, we'd like to be able to build Phase 4 without having to prove that we have access to that development. And from the conversation I had with the fire marshal, understood that we could do that by sprinklering the homes. So I hope that makes sense. I guess if I could offer an edit to that statement, it would just be that 2018 International Fire Code requires all homes beyond 30 at the point of connection to Phase 2 be sprinklered, or provide a second point of ingress egress to Phase 4 of Wynwood Park, and then strike the last sentence.
Madam Chair. Mr. Carter, do you feel that that's, and staff, do you feel that that is sufficient? It makes sense to me. It seems like black and white. If the limit's 30, whatever you're over, sprinkle those. But I would just like clarification, just to make sure that from the city's perspective, we are in agreement with that checks the box.
Looks like you have the code over there.
I have the fire code to be able to read that exactly how it's written. Developments of 1 and 2 family dwellings where the number of dwelling units exceeds 30 shall be provided with 2 separate and approved fire apparatus access roads. Exceptions where there are more than 30 dwelling units on a single private or public or private fire apparatus access road, and all dwelling units are equipped throughout with an approved automatic sprinkler system in accordance with section 903.3.1.1. So it says where there are more than 30 dwelling units on a single public or private fire apparatus access road. This clarification, Mr. Sullivan may have given you that answer. This came from Chief Hughes after I spoke with him concerning this matter as well. So that was where this requirement came from, directly from the fire chief.
I was like, I'm not the tip of the spear on every code, but that would be my understanding. Usually the spirit of the codes in the fire is that it doesn't do you any good to just do above 30. It's the singular access issue. So anything, all of them have to be sprinkled. I would say that would, usually the intention of what I've dealt with in building is usually how it's worded.
Or, for example, if you had a home that's on the northern part of this plan in phase 3 that needed an assistance, and you had a home that was in the southern part on phase 3 blocking the road with fire or an emergency already at that location, you wouldn't be able to access that. And so that's the point of having it from the singular point of access all the way through the back of the neighborhood.
Okay.
Madam Chair, sorry, just one last question on this. Is it open-ended to suggest that if you have the option of the open lot to a future connectivity, we don't know what the time frame of that is, so we could have occupied residences here for 10 years without having that potential open-ended agreement that might never be satisfied. So that's, I have a little caution with that.
Yeah, I think the spirit of the resolution and the fire code would be that any building built prior to having that second in place would be that everything at that point would have to be sprinkled.
The second exception in the rule is the number of dwelling units on a single fire apparatus access road shall not be increased unless fire apparatus access road will connect with future development as determined by the fire code official, which is why there would need to be a agreement with the adjacent developer prior to construction plan approval.
Sorry, Mr. Greer, was that written in your statement one more time, please? Is it worded to that extent?
In the resolution, it has an agreement between developers for second point of ingress, egress shall be presented to city staff prior to construction plan approval.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would guess, okay, so if we need to sprinkle, understand that's coming from the chief. I'd not spoken with the chief. But if we were to sprinkle all the homes in phase 3 and 4, the way the first sentence is written, well, either you sprinkle all the homes or you provide ingress egress. Okay. Well, if we can sprinkle all the homes, then why would we have to provide an agreement to developers for second point of ingress, from the neighboring property, right? Essentially, if we sprinkle all the homes, we're going to leave the option open for future ingress egress as a second connection, but why would we have to have an agreement in place?
You don't, it's the or. So it's either sprinkle all their homes or provide a second point of egress. The second point of egress would be provided by or represented by agreement, that you don't have to have it in place, that the agreement just has to be in place. You don't have to have built the street.
Okay, well, just to make sure, then, is the agreement between developers, obviously, on our side, our developer, we can offer that, right? We can present our desire for a second point of ingress, but why would it be required upon us to agree to a neighbor who there may not be a development in 10 years, as just pointed out?
So they may not have an empty lot or connection available. So you've got to get an agreement that it says staff prior to construction plan approval. So eventually it has to come to a construction plan where that road's going to be built. They're just saying that the point that they can approve you not sprinkling is contingent on that agreement being in place.
Okay, if that's the way it's understood, that's fine. Make sure the way that's worded doesn't.
Mr. Greer, did I convey that correctly?
Okay.
Any additional questions, concerns, discussion points? Okay. Take a vote for us.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Mr. Callie?
Aye.
Miss Schilling?
Aye.
Miss Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Magner?
Aye.
Miss Schulist?
Aye.
Mr. Pape?
Aye.
Miss Sinyard?
Aye. Motion passes. New business item 2, PC resolution PC 13-24, development plan Richville Phase 5. 17.4 acres, map 042A, Group D, parcels 01.00, current zoning R20 pod, property owner Richville Estates LLC. Do I have a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Pate, Mr. Magner, correct? Okay. Staff, do you have anything you would like to read into the minutes?
Again, this is a subsequent development plan to a residential pod, Phase 5 of Richville Estates. If you'll go to the next slide. This is the original controlling document for their pod. Phase 5 is on the northeast corner of this development. You'll go to the next slide, Keith. This is their development plan. Our staff believes that this substantially complies with their original master development plan. It is to note that all lots in Phase 5 are deemed critical.
Are there any representatives here to answer any questions? Will you join us at the microphone just in case there's a question? And if you'll go ahead and get your introduction out of the way, we can get
All right,
that on the minutes.
I'm Andy Davidson with Brightland Homes.
Thanks. Are there any questions, concerns, any discussion points?
I have one quick question. On the grading plan, I don't know if we have that available, but it looks like the lots, it's essentially, if I'm looking at the plan, it would be the 5 to the east, plan east, and then upper routes. It looks like the pitching of the new contour lines goes onto the neighboring properties versus creating a drainage swell, or how we accept that. Can you please, yeah.
So the plan submitted here does not have any proposed contours. It's only existing contours, and that's all that's required for development plan submittal. Could you possibly looking at maybe old construction plans that indicated that or so, or?
I thought I was looking through this package here.
Andy, feel free to speak to that if you'd like, if you know the grading schematic in the future, but.
Yeah, I didn't see it as an issue. As I said, all lots are deemed critical. I do know we have some open comments still. All comments are addressed on it? Okay. Then I guess if all lots are critical, then they're critical lot plans and should be set. Are you saying the grading's gonna exceed onto the neighbor's
sir.
property?
My only concern was it looked like the surface drainage was all pitching towards the plan north on the neighboring properties versus creating a swell. Even though they're critical lots, how are we going to handle that runoff so that we don't pitch that onto a neighbor?
I'm not familiar with that, to be honest. I haven't seen that as an issue on the plan, so.
Because I think our topography, we're higher up at the building footprint than we are at the property line.
When they subsequently submit construction plans, I'll be sure
You'll see that on,
to
okay.
review that. And I can also consult with you to see if we can, figure out the best solution moving forward.
I think just as long as we're taking, all right, thank you. I appreciate
I'll make note of that.
response.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Other questions, comments, points of discussion? Okay, take a vote.
Mr. Pate,
Aye.
Mr. Magner,
Aye.
Miss Schilling, Miss Williams, Miss Schulist,
Aye.
Mr. McDonald,
Aye.
Mr. Callie,
Aye.
Miss Sinyard,
Aye. Motion passes. We have no bonds and letters of credit tonight. Reports from city staff, planning staff. Ethan, do you have anything for us?
Not tonight. Thank you for your engagement in our city.
Mr. Daughtery, do you have anything for us?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
You have anything for us?
Nothing tonight. Thank you. Thank you
You're
for your time.
alone tonight.
Alone. Yes. Finally letting me off the leash.
They let you fly solo.
I don't know how it's happening, but it's happening.
Mr. Carter? Before I start going through the planning commission members, there was a comment earlier. I will be out next month if we have it on the second Tuesday. I believe the mayor has informed city staff she'll be out. And so I'd like to make sure there's a quorum here, or if we need to move it so we can go ahead and make those announcements. Two of us should not be a big deal, but apparently there's already 9+ agenda items. So I just want to make sure that we do have a quorum. Mr. Pape, would you like to start?
I have nothing tonight, but I certainly can make the meeting in June,
May.
or May, I'm sorry. Jumped ahead a whole
It'll be
month.
May
Look at
14th
that.
for everyone, so it's a pretty early meeting.
Yeah.
Mr. McDonald?
Nothing tonight, but I too should be available in April.
Callie?
Nothing tonight. I should be available also.
Ms. Shulis?
Same, and I am available.
More confidence. Ms. Schilling?
Same, I'm available too.
Okay. Ms. Williams?
Same here, I'm available as well.
And Mr. Magner?
No comments, I will be available.
So Mr. Magner will be leading the meeting, and I have nothing further. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved.